Hey guys, this is your daily Devo for Friday. This is April 24th from Psalm 109 and verse 22. This is your supper Devo for this day. Psalm 109 verse 22 says this, "For I am poor and needy, and my heart is wounded within me." One of the aspects of Jesus being the Son of Man is that He shared in our hurts and our pains. One of the hardest things to understand about Jesus maybe is that He was human. And that in that sense, He experienced what it was like to have dirt under His thumbnails and His toenails. He was familiar with the stink of humanity that came upon us, sweating and working hard. And those things that made Him who He was as a human. Did He have acne as a teenager? And those kind of questions that we will have one day, hopefully we can ask and find answers to. But the truth of the matter is this, if Jesus was human, which we know He was, then He understands more about us than we might like to think. He understands what it's like to be tempted, because temptation is not sin, and so therefore we know Jesus was tempted. But we succumb to it quite often. Jesus never did. In Psalm 109 verse 22, as I've read, it says, "My heart is wounded within me." Jesus understands what it's like to have a hurting heart because He is the Son of Man. Living forgiven and free is beautiful, but we need to remember, pain is a teacher. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 11, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but in the end it produces a harvest of righteousness." Pain points us to God. In 2 Corinthians chapter 7, Paul admits that they were in conflict and fearful, but God sent them hope in the person of Titus, who showed up to encourage them. He was refreshed and alive with the Spirit, and Paul was encouraged by the visit from Titus. Remembering pain often brings a rush of emotions. Recovering addicts and abuse victims often take the rest of their lives to deal with the fallout from that emotion. And if you're dealing with things like that, if you're battling these addictions, or if you've overcome these addictions, keep on that road. You're doing well. With the Lord's help, you'll succeed. He sees to it that you will. Hold tight in Him and hold firm in your convictions. But we know that pain is a common denominator. Kids get together and say they meet each other in the playground, and one boy will say to the other, "Do you like dinosaurs?" And the other boy's like, "Yeah, I like dinosaurs." And the little boy will say, "Well, I like dinosaurs too. Let's be best friends." And they're best friends until they're 90 years old. It's just the way kids are. They form a link and they never let go. Adults, they tend to bond over other things. And pain is something that they often bond over. Well, I lost my daughter and they lost their daughter, and it brought us together, able to lean on one another. That's okay. It's all right. It's supposed to be that way. We're supposed to bear one another's burdens, especially when they're burdens that we've bore ourselves. While it helps us to grow, to help others to grow, it's most important to learn, and maybe this is the key here, that pain is a terrible master. Pain is the worst of masters, because when we succumb to it, when we allow it to rule us, then we are allowing a master that has no conscience, a master that has no feeling, rule us. And he will rule us as a tyrant. He will take over our life. Now, I could be talking about spiritual pain or emotional pain or physical pain, or whatever that pain is in your life. I pray that it's not your master. I pray that you are able to trust God's promises amidst the pain. Because while God doesn't always take the pain away, He does provide strength to endure. And I hope that you'll lean on that strength, even unto today. You need another master. You need a master who understands. You need someone who was, in a lot of ways, a lot like you, who's been tempted in the ways that you've been tempted. You need someone who also is representative of the greatest being in the universe, of God. If we want to know what God looks like, who do we look at? Well, I pray that you have a master that you can look at and that you can see God very clearly in. For He said, "If you've seen me, then you've seen my Father." And His name is Jesus. He's the Son of Man. Discuss it with your family around the table tonight. What makes Jesus so capable of understanding the positions that we're in? It's because He is the Son of Man. It's because He is the one who came to save. And He understands today. He loves you just the way you are, much more than I ever could. And He seeks to change you, and He seeks to mold you, and He seeks to save you. Will you give your life to Him today? Let's talk to your family about that tonight and have a blessed meal together. Have a great day. We'll see you on Sunday. Sunday morning, we'll start around 8:55 with worship and a countdown and some teaching on the Son of Man passage. We'll talk about Daniel 7, and we're going to talk about something else as well. I hope you have a blessed day.